Coming up, SJSU students share their thoughts about the presidential elections.
What took place at Santa Clara County's event on Tuesday regarding homes for the Black community? Find out next.
This Bay Area county is now considered one of the most expensive areas to live in. Stay tuned.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Tyler Flipson.
And I'm Mohammed Najimi. Students at SJSU have heard about the elections results, have mixed emotions about how their safety will be affected. Let's hear from some Spartans.
Really unsafe as a woman. I remember after the election results, the first and second day afterwards, I was filled with despair.
Kind of scared about going back there. Eventually, if I ever do find a partner, taking them back home to meet my family and stuff like that, the homophobia we're gonna have to deal with.
So that's been going around where it's this guy was your body, my choice. And that's something that we've been doing, getting crossover with Roe v. Wade and all that. And I want to feel safe about being a woman.
Good for my family. I stem from Costa Rica and countries like that. And he called Puerto Rico a floating pile of trash. So what am I?
Have always been my communities, because I do, stand for my community. I stand for all queer people as a whole, because you should be valid enough to be yourself and not hide yourself away from people.
My family's safety, because my parents are immigrants, so I'm a first generation. So it's just the worry that something may happen.
I definitely am concerned with my safety to some degree, as the election results were a little bit concerning to me. But at the same time, I recognize that I'm from California, a state that has a lot more privilege than the other states that are being affected by these issues.
Well, gentlemen, it's safe to say those students really had some strong opinions at how they feel the election results will affect their safety.
They sure did. We now turn to our political analyst, Gabriel Evans.
Thanks, Mo. I heard that some SJSU students also had strong feelings regarding the outcome of the election. I went to find out more.
The presidential election turned up results that surprised many across the country. Donald Trump's sweeping victory stunned many voters across the board. Despite poll data that indicated the race would be close, Donald Trump won all 7 swing states. The victory has had voters speculate why the win was so clear-cut for Trump.
I was just surprised with the way all swing states turned out for Donald Trump, because based on the polling data and everything that I was seeing, it was much closer than it should have been a much closer race.
Leading up to the election, national polls indicated a much closer race. The polls nationally showed Kamala Harris leading by 1.2%. Within the 7 major swing states, the race also looked much more close compared to what the result was.
The results left others wondering what the future now holds as Trump prepares to return to national office.
I hope, unlike the first time, he's able to govern as a commander-in-chief for all Americans and will unite the American people and will not sow chaos and division.
Now we go to our political analyst, Larry Gersten. National polls had showed us that the race would be extremely close. Why do you believe we instead witnessed the opposite after the election?
Well, the race was close. If you look at almost all of the states, the swing states, nobody ran away with it. Former President Trump won by just enough in most of those states. And so what looked to be in some ways a one-sided victory wasn't one-sided when you look at the popular vote, you look at the swing states, but he got enough. He got enough in several of those states, all the swing states, as a matter of fact, to get over the top.
And what do you think we should expect or pay attention to from the new president-elect this time around? Do you think that he'll govern differently?
I think we could expect a lot of what is promised. If there's one thing you can say about former President Trump, it's that what he says he's going to do, he tries to do. Sometimes he succeeds, sometimes he doesn't. He's likely to succeed a lot more this time because he's putting very close allies in key places, or at least trying to. And that will facilitate their carrying out his wishes. I think you can look to some big changes when it comes to immigration, reproductive freedom, climate change, how we act with others around the world. These are going to be four big areas, if not others, where we're going to see dramatic changes from what we've seen in the last 4 years.
And what key factors or elements do you believe contributed to Donald Trump's victory this time around?
I think several things contributed. Number one, the Democrats did not have a long time to make their case. Remember, Kamala Harris took over July 21st. It was unprecedented. It's hard to run a campaign that normally takes a year and a half in 3.5 months. That's number one. Number two, I think Democrats, and this is related, didn't make their argument as clearly as they needed to. They needed to stress the needs of the working class, and they sort of went past that. They also took for granted the women's vote because they knew that they had the reproductive choice argument with them. But a number of women voted for reproductive choice, especially in those 10 states that had it on the ballot, and they went ahead and voted for Trump as well. I think that's another thing. And the third thing is they had a real big problem with union voters and Latino voters. Probably nearly half of the union vote went over to former President Trump, and about 45% of the Latino vote went over to President Trump. Both of those sectors had been closely aligned with the Democrats in past years. And once again, they didn't see as much of a compelling reason to join up with Democrats and Trump this time around. They may feel differently in a year or two.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Silicon Valley at Home hosted an event Tuesday night to discuss the need for black housing. The discussion has background and history behind it. Reporter Larry Larkin has the story.
A discussion about black housing in Santa Clara County happened earlier this week. Silicon Valley at Home held the Black Community Stabilization Project Tuesday night at the African American Community Services Agency. The event was a moderated panel discussion that talks about emerging research that supports the need for a black housing and displacement study in Santa Clara County. It goes back from 1980 to 2000, where community developers were essential in preserving black neighborhoods in the East Bay and San Francisco against gentrification. Silicon Valley was not successful in fighting off those displacement pressures because of a lack of a robust community development infrastructure. One of the panelists shared a disturbing trend.
White people who have no degrees still own a significantly more wealth than black people do, and that's absolute fact.
One stat that was revealed during the panel discussion is that 18% of the unhoused community is black.
When we look at a community, you need to look at who's there. Because gentrification is a license to transfer earned wealth to the next owner.
There is one thing SV at Home hopes is the biggest takeaway from this event.
That people are now aware of the true barriers that exist for people of African descent to be able to thrive and flourish in Silicon Valley.
The goal is to make Silicon Valley a place black community members can call home. In San Jose, Larry Larkin, Update News.
One Bay Area county consists of some of the most expensive zip codes to live in the whole country. Reporter Justin Ray is live at the big board with more information.
Homes within San Mateo County have seen over a 3.5% increase in market value since the start of the year, according to Zillow's Home Value Index. San Mateo County has 4 of the 50 most expensive zip codes to live in the United States, with Atherton making the top of the list, according to KTVU. People living in the county say that it has a more natural feel that visitors and community members receive when visiting.
The public amenities are incredible. The parks like this are beautiful.
The amenities are a benefit, but Hilger also believes that more affordable housing can help solve some of the county's deeper issues.
You can't afford to live here if you're not being paid a high wage, and that increases the price of everything. Home improvement services, entertainment, everything is just more expensive. So that's a consequence. Also, it's not as diverse as it could be.
The county made a commitment highlighting their views on diversity within their communities. San Mateo County is committed to promoting diversity in addition to fostering equity, inclusion, respect, and appreciation across the entire workforce. Some community members believe that the county has exactly what they are looking for in a place to live.
Menlo Park in particular is really great, right? Because you get sort of the amenities that come along with an affluent community, but then also access to North Fair Oaks, which is a primarily Latino neighborhood, and so you have access to some of the best tacos in the Bay Area.
While additional housing may seem like the best option, it could come at the sacrifice of some of the county's greatest perks. Live in San Jose, I'm Justin Ray. Now back to the desk.
We'll have more when we come back. Learn about the annual event in San Jose that celebrated Veterans Day coming up.
It can be hard to stay clean without access to a shower, sink, or toilet. Find out how some unhoused residents stay clean thanks to a local nonprofit.
Know what's happening in your local forecast? Stay tuned. Up next.
Let's celebrate our community at the San Antonio Festival on November 23rd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. There will be a pop-up market, live performances, art installations, and fun activities with local businesses on the Paseo. Plus, a business workshop for entrepreneurs. This festival is for you, so bring along your family and friends for a whole day of fun. For more information, follow our Instagram at the San Antonio Festival.
Every year on November 11th, the country celebrates the men and women who fought to protect America. The city of San Jose holds a parade to celebrate our veterans. Reporter Sophie Cipriano will show us how it went.
On November 11th, the city of San Jose held its 106th annual Veterans Day Parade. The parade started in 1919 and has been an ongoing tradition for San Jose. It is one of the largest Veterans Day celebrations in Northern California. Many Veterans Day groups around the Bay Area had displays in the parade. Veterans Day can be an emotional day for many who have served.
It reminds me a lot of everything that I went through, pretty much experiences, good and bad. Everything from the beginning, from signing up to pretty much going on deployment.
There was still a turnout and people stood outside in the rain to watch. The parade this year held special significance for some groups. The president of San Jose's Rotary Club, Heather Lerner, says this year's Veterans Day Parade was special because they almost lost the chance to do it, but raised enough money just in time. The funding for the event was unsure until a few weeks before the event, when the Silicon Valley chapter of Military Officers Association of America found new sponsors. Not all performers at the parade were veterans, but those performers who did not serve felt it was important to honor those who did.
Yeah, it's an honor to be able to perform on Veterans Day. I mean, it's, as somebody who wasn't in the military, I kind of feel like the very least I can do to just say thank you to all those veterans who served for us and fought and died.
It's always an honor to be able to really point out just what our veterans mean to us and the community.
The San Jose Veterans Day Parade gives us a chance to honor our veterans and active duty military personnel. In San Jose, I'm Sophie Cipriano, Update News.
It may seem discouraging to rally against the issues with our society and world. At World Flight, pilots from around the world rally nonetheless. Reporter Sean Robertson has more.
Teams of simulation pilots around the world utilize their personal flight simulators to raise money for various charities. This is Team Shared Flight. The organizer, Justin Snap, pledges the donations to a charity close to his heart.
I fell in love with it when my son was in the hospital.
He and his son have asthma, so minor illnesses may flare up their conditions.
He was the healthiest, cutest kid in the ICU.
The organization he chose was the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. He organized the assembly of the simulated cockpit, modeled after an older version of the Boeing 742.
I'm currently sitting in the cockpit of the 742. The pilots behind me are flying the plane to an audience on Twitch who can donate to the cause.
The stream chat is displayed directly in front of the pilots, so they can interact with the viewers and are notified of all donations.
Say Intentions AI just donated $50. Thank you. That's our goal complete.
A viewer may even receive an award for contributing.
If you guys donate during this chat, remember before Wake Island, you have a chance to enter that giveaway.
The event raises money for charity while simultaneously bringing the flight sim community together.
Again, it becomes that kind of collaborative learning experience, just like I described on the live stream. We're all kind of helping each other, lifting each other up, helping each other be better aviators.
The project is a testament that alongside passion can come positive change. In Foster City, Sean Robertson, Update News.
Every house and apartment on the market in California has a shower, a toilet, and a sink. If you can't afford a home, your hygiene options are limited. Let's see how our on-house community members stay clean with reporter Alina Ta.
Most are used to having access to a shower or a toilet at all times. Unhoused residents don't have the same access. This is where Dignity on Wheels comes in. This is Christina Obregon. She likes to bring her granddaughter to Dignity on Wheels so they both can take a shower.
I feel comfortable taking showers here. Yeah, and I don't want to be dirty, so that's why I come here.
Dignity on Wheels is a nonprofit that provides shower, restroom, and laundry services to the unhoused community.
They have shower rooms in them that have a shower stall and a vanity. And some of them actually are a full bathroom. They have a shower stall, a vanity, and a toilet.
The trailers visit the same spots twice a week to give unhoused residents the chance to feel clean and fresh. Many unhoused residents like Obregon and her granddaughter use the shower services to take care of their hygiene needs before going to work or school.
I don't want her to go to school dirty and be stinky and smelling, and then her friends are going to say, oh, you know, what happened? You haven't taken a shower? And no, so that's why we come here.
Before Dignity on Wheels, Obregon had to find different ways to clean herself and her granddaughter in public restrooms.
I go to the park, and I'll go to the faucet and I'll wash my hair.
Russia, who is unhoused and a full-time student, said it's important for him to feel clean before going to class at San Jose City College.
Because I have to go see them classes. I don't want anybody smelling me.
To prepare for the upcoming winter season, Blount said Dignity on Wheels and its staff are preparing to drive to warming centers around the Bay Area. To find when and where Dignity on Wheels will park, check out the nonprofit's website. In San Jose, Alina Ta, Update News.
The weather really seems to be trending down lately, huh?
Yeah, it's been cold. I need 2 blankets to sleep at night.
And the leaves changing colors, I mean, it's beautiful. It's about time for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at our weather with Michelle Sanchez.
My name is Michelle Sanchez, and here's this week's forecast. A return to more typical November weather is ongoing this week with chances of showers and some possible Sierra snow, especially near the 5,000 elevation. We may see a short break into early Saturday before rain chances return by later Sunday. The future showcasts multiple chances for some rain at times through the end of the week, with more rain possible later on in the weekend. We will also see total amounts of rain will likely be higher for more in the North Bay and near Santa Cruz. Temperatures should also trend cooler, morning lows and daytime highs from the 70s earlier in the week to mainly 60s in the weekend. For Santa Cruz weather, temperatures should be at the upper 50s and low 60s. And for Oakland, we'll see similar trends and some showers through Friday with possible breaks on Saturday. In San Francisco, it will be breezy with sometimes and some cloudy drizzles and shower chances. Cooler temps are also up in San Jose with shower chances ongoing and possible returning rain again on Sunday with some in the night as well. Now back to the desk.
We have more for you when we come back.
Up next, see how a Bay Area beach volleyball legend is now forever remembered.
This Bay Area soccer team is welcoming a new face to the organization. Stay tuned to find out who he is.
Let's celebrate our community at the San Antonio Festival on November 23rd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. There will be a pop-up market, live performances, art installations, and fun activities with local businesses on the Paseo. Plus, a business workshop for entrepreneurs. This festival is for you, so bring along your family and friends for a whole day of fun. For more information, follow our Instagram at the San Antonio Festival.
The San Jose Sports Authority hosted the 29th annual Hall of Fame induction for its class of 2024. One of the 4 class members honored is South Bay beach volleyball legend Carrie Walsh Jennings. Her rise from Archbishop Mitty High School, dominating at Stanford, and then winning bronze and gold medals in multiple Olympic Games. Many call her the face of women's beach volleyball. I went to the SAP Center to cover this inspirational Bay Area Legends induction, forever representing San Jose.
Walsh was a force early in her career. While at Mitty, she led the Monarchs to 3 state titles in volleyball. She was also successful at Stanford, being a 4-time All-American, winning 2 NCAA championships. Robert Bronstein is a longtime Bay Area high school sports reporter, and while he was an executive producer for High School Sports Focus, he covered Carrie early in her career while at Mitty.
Well, we worked so hard all season, and our team, came together and we pulled it through.
Well, she was probably the best high school athlete that I covered, boys or girls. She was amazing. So it had a huge effect on Bay Area high school sports at the time.
It's with no doubt Carrie's an outstanding athlete, but her talents go beyond the sand and the court, paving the way for young women athletes all across the nation.
When I look at the landscape right now, I just see so much opportunity and so much goodness in both genders, and an athlete's an athlete, and I want to take the mantle, and I want to advocate for celebrating all the female athletes out there, because it's important for those young girls to have someone to look up to.
And look up to her, they do. Carrie's focus on women's representation in sports has made waves for many young women athletes.
I've always looked up to her. Playing beach volleyball on the side, for me, she's always an idol and someone I look up to, as she's one of the most dominant beach volleyball players in women's.
Walsh will continue her legacy by continuing to inspire these young women in sports of all ages and skills as they continue to chase her wake.
Walsh's impact to San Jose and proudly representing the city, as well as the impact on these young women athletes, is beyond inspirational. And now her name will forever be connected to the city where her legendary success started.
A press conference was held on Wednesday introducing a new sporting director and head coach for the San Jose Earthquakes. The Earthquakes might be trying to change the environment within the club, coming off a poor 2024 season by turning to a 5-time Major League Soccer Cup champ. I went to PayPal Arena to find out who this new head coach is. Bruce Arena, the winningest coach in U.S. men's national team and Major League Soccer history, is now the new sporting director and head coach of the San Jose Earthquakes. Arena has the most regular season and postseason wins in MLS history with 262 and 35. He has been named MLS Coach of the Year a record 4 times.
When our players report in January, from day one, the message is going to be clear that we're going to work hard to be successful, and we're not going to accept 21 points in a 34-game season.
Arena says he loves the pressure of being a top team after coming from the New England Revolution and the Los Angeles Galaxy.
It's a community that wants to support a good team, and we know how to build teams. I'm going to have what I believe is going to be a very good coaching staff, and we're going to work real hard.
San Jose Earthquakes general manager Chris Leach made some comments regarding last season and the outcome.
There were some points last year where it was promising, but at the end of the day, this is a result-oriented business, and the results weren't there. So looking forward to bounce back next year.
In the international level, Arena led the U.S. national team to 2 FIFA World Cup appearances. He holds the team's record for most wins with 81.
I've appreciated getting to know Bruce during this process. I look forward to working with him to bring cups and championships back here to San Jose.
Arena hopes to bring out intricate tactics intended to utilize the strengths of the team and mask the weaknesses. The Earthquakes made the playoffs twice since 2020, both times being eliminated by Sporting Kansas City in penalty kicks. Arena couldn't promise that they'll win the MLS Cup in the upcoming season, but he did promise to be an improved team. Shifting to San Jose State University sports, the players have been on their A game recently here at SJSU. I'm super excited to see what else they have in store for us. Here's Tyler Flipson with this week's Sports Wrap-Up.
Thank you, Mo, and welcome to your Update News Sports Wrap. Let's dive into it. Let's kick off right into it. Matter of fact, again with men's soccer. They defeated the 4th-seeded Utah Valley last week 1-0 after our very own WAC Offensive Player of the Year, Angel Iniguez, on his penalty kick. That is what got the edge. You're going to see here coming up shortly his kick from that game. This is their 3rd shutout in a row and their 7th of this season. They beat the #1 seed, San Diego State, yesterday, so they're moving on to the finals. Now, let's go ahead and bump it on over to women's volleyball. The women's team fell to San Diego State last week, 3-1. They moved to 11-5 in the Mountain West, putting them in second behind Colorado State. Well, speaking of Colorado State, they are hosting those Rams this Saturday for senior night. The last time these two teams met, they did fall 3-0 to the Rams, but on senior night, rightfully so, they're looking for revenge. All right, now let's go ahead and move on over to men's water polo here. They fell to a tough Pepperdine team last week that we previewed. They lost in a small margin of 13-10, but they bounced back a few days after against LMU, claiming a 14-10 win. They're third in the conference, just one game behind LMU and Pepperdine at 4-2. They're moving on to a crucial final 2 games of the season against California Baptist, where they have that this Friday. Now, let's go into Tyler's marquee matchup. It's the game of the week, the one you don't want to miss. It's none other than our football team. They had another massive game for the Spartans, hosting the number 13 in the nation, Boise State. They are 6-3 overall. Now, if we're going to connect one team to Boise State and one name, it's Ashton Genty. Now, we're going to dive into that second. Like I said, they're 6-3 overall after defeating a tough Oregon State team, 24-13. If we go on over, we'll see that they have Boise State, as mentioned, this Saturday. Now, let's go ahead and see what they did well against Oregon State, where they stopped the run, just like we talked about. Oregon State's one of the best run offenses in the nation, and so if they're going to get it done, as you see here, absolutely rallying to the football, and not only that, they're able to force turnovers. On top of that, jarring it loose here. Ashton Genty is likely a first-round draft pick in the NFL in coming years, so if they're going to get it done, they got to stop him. And on top of that, you can't always stop Genty, so we have to make sure we keep up with him, and that's generating points on the ground, just like we did here against those Beavers last week. And then on top of that, if we're going to be able to get it done stopping Genty, they're going to be forced to go to the air just like the Beavers here, and we got to be able to turn the ball over. One of our 2 interceptions last week, as you see here, that is a big one. And on top of that win in Oregon State last week, that makes us bowl eligible. We're the first team in FBS to do that this season. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been your Update News Sports Rack. Back to you, Mo.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Wondering what to do this weekend? Here's Vincent Rupenas with his Weekend Roundup.
Welcome back to Vincent's Weekend Roundup. First up, we have the return of Downtown Ice. The tradition continues, once again this year on Market Street. The first date will be Friday, November 15th, rolling all the way to January. Admission will be $21. Something for the rave heads this weekend. EDM duo Zed's Dead is coming to San Francisco at the Regency Ballroom. There will be shows both on Friday and Saturday. If you're looking to laugh, the Prune Ridge Cinemas in Campbell has you covered. Cody Woods is coming to the Prune Ridge Comedy Night on Friday and Saturday. Showtimes vary each night with 2 shows on Saturday. This event is 18+ with food and drink available. That does it for this week. Now back to the desk.
And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here in Update News, follow us on all our socials.
Thank you for joining us, and see you next week.